Hi guys, I was supposed to post a video this week, but I ended up not posting it because it ran a bit too long, and of course nobody wants to hang around for that long, right? So, what it was about this week reading break, what I did, um, which was basically a lot of sleeping, because I got to sleep in, so I got to sleep, and I hung out with some friends and ate at my favorite places, and basically just came back to Vancouver and had an awesome time. Hope you have an awesome time with this video. I'm going to go over all my piercings and tattoos that I've had in my life, and I'm going to do a past, present, and future version of it. So, hope you enjoy and stay tuned. So the first piercing I got in the summer of grade 10 and 11, and it was my lip piercing. It was by far my favorite piercing ever. Um, Price wise wasn't a huge issue for me, but comfort was, so I went to a shop that I felt most comfortable with immediately. Like I stepped right in the doors and I just loved the place and I found a nice little home there. The aftercare wasn't too difficult, but the result from getting my lip piercing kind of was. I got a little bit of backlash from my family and my friends, and I remember when I got it done, some people told me like they thought it was fake. So I guess maybe they just didn't expect that of me. Um, the swelling after it is the biggest issue I've really had with it. My lips kind of doubled in size, and it was not a very fun next couple days. And I do remember the first meal I had after I got my lip pierced was like hamburgers or something, which was not very easy to consume. So any oral piercings aren't like they affect how you speak somewhat, and definitely how you eat. So if you get that kind of piercing, be careful about what you eat. Um, the reason I took it out was because I was going to a different country for a little bit and I wasn't sure of how they would react, so I took it out. But in any other case, it's like my favorite piercing, and I really, really wouldn't mind having it again. Definitely, I remember after I got my lip piercing, I kind of felt like this is something that I want to pursue. So the next piercing I got after my lip piercing was the less controversial ear piercing. And that was, I really didn't care about my ears so much, so I was totally fine with it. I went back to the same place that I got my lip piercing, and it didn't hurt that bad. I comparatively to the lip piercing, I guess it hurt more because my ears got kind of red and they were like crazy itchy, so I wasn't like I didn't really like that a lot. Um, but yeah, they healed when they were supposed to, and the thing about my ears is I never wear earrings, but so sometimes I would have to self pierce it again. But other than that, ears were fine. There's not a lot I can comment on because I feel like everybody has their ear pierced. But I got my ears done because it's another piercing, and I wouldn't get a lot of flack for it like I got for my lip piercing. About this time, I had continually gone down to the shop, not necessarily to have anything done or to plan on getting anything done, but I had found out that this kind of place would be a comfort to me, like a home away from home. And it's no surprise that one time I went down there, I decided to do something spontaneous and maybe in the eyes of some people or something stupid, and I got my tongue web pierced. I can't remember where I got the idea, or anything, but I just figured that'd be something cool. And it was a nice little fun thing to do for one weekend. Um, but I did take it out because I got it originally done with a curved barbell, which if you like do something like if you yawned, the barbell would flip over and that would be like the most painful thing when it flipped, and it wasn't even like healed at that time either, so I in the end decided to take it out because it was not the smartest thing, and in any case I was afraid it might reject, but we'll never know now if this would reject or not. But it lasted about a weekend and it was a fun thing to show on Monday, and again people didn't believe that it was real. Goodness knows I didn't want to be generic in any way, but I figured if I was gonna get another piercing, it was gonna be my nose. So at this time, I did have my lip piercing in, and I did have my nose piercing, and I got it on both sides. Like my lip piercing was on my right side, and my nose I got on my left, kind of to balance out my face. And it has, I have said it is the most painful piercing, and I stand by that. It's a combination of things. The piercing pain, which comes with any piercing you get, but it was also a lot of pressure on your nose. So it was pressure and pain, and for me, I a lot of blood. I bled a lot after that, and plus anything you do to your sinuses, your eyes water immediately. So it was blood, pain, pressure. It was not a fun piercing to have. And after I got it done, it I think I remember it being red often after that, like around the piercing. It wasn't a fun piercing to have or to heal, but I still have it today, and it's one of those piercings that I neither love nor hate. It's just there, and it adds character to the face, and I still like it, and I'm gonna keep it for a while. The next piercing I got was my navel piercing, and I figured as far as acceptable piercings go, I could be a nice little bookend to my nose piercing and my navel piercing. This photo is actually not my navel piercing. There's no photos of my navel, but it is similar. I had a clear stone in, and it was pierced at the top and everything. It rejected somewhat early, I think. I can't pinpoint exactly when, but I remember like a month after I got it done, I went back to the shop and asked them like what the hell's going on, and they didn't really help much for a navel. But I think I kind of figured this was not necessarily gonna work, and my body rejected it almost immediately. Um, as far as pain-wise go, it wasn't painful, but it felt uncomfortable. I must say, it felt like somebody was like stabbing you in a place you don't want to really be stabbed. But other than that, it's I guess a common piercing for everybody. But it wasn't a piercing for me. A bunch of time passed in between this piercing and my next piercing, which I suppose coincidentally was my navel piercing again. I really was upset over the rejection of my piercing. It was like the first piercing that ever rejected, so I was kind of like really like stricken about it, like something that I love so much could fail me. So I decided that okay, I'm gonna get it done again, and if it fails this time, I'm just gonna give up on it. Maybe my body just doesn't like it. So I got my navel pierced again. This time it didn't hurt as much as the first time. I got this one done on my own, same jewel and everything, and they had to work from like the around the scar tissue and whatnot. But I don't think it was really a problem. this piercing rejected because I cared too much for it, and I overloved it. So yeah, it rejected again, and I'm not gonna show you the scar because it's not really attractive, but navel piercings apparently weren't for me, so that was the story of my navel piercing and its failure. But that didn't stop me from going back there numerous times in the future. The next piercing I got was quite a bit later than all the other ones that was somewhat close together. I got this one on a 2-for-1 day at the shop because I was still involved in the piercing um, culture, if you could say that. So I figured I could kind of cheat the system, and I got an industrial piercing, which is two piercings in itself, but it could count as one and another piercing. Um, the industrial, I was kind of worried about because, of course, your industrial is cartilage, and so is your nose, and I did not have a fabulous time with my nose, so I didn't know what to expect. Although I did hear it supposedly pops, and it's true, your cartilage pops, but that's just the needle breaking the cartilage. Um, it hurt a lot more. I had a theory that the older you get, the more it hurts, which is kind of true because my later piercings hurt more than my earlier piercings. Um, but yeah, it wasn't a fun piercing to heal because of course you're sleeping on whatever side, and it wasn't a fun time, but I really like the piercing. I still have it, and I think I think it gives me that kind of edge, like I'm not just a pretty face, I suppose you could say, that I'm into piercings and whatnot, and I think it's the right kind of balance between normal and what is acceptable in piercing culture, if that makes any sense. The second piercing I got in my 2-for-1 deal was my levette piercing. And it was a confusing piercing. I think I had the biggest issue with it because it was a piercing I really, really wanted in high school after my lip ring, but my lip ring kind of took over the spotlight in high school. And it was everything I wanted back in high school. But I had gotten it after I graduated and was in like second year university. I had a hard time deciding what I wanted. I figured that I would want it because I wanted it back then, but now it's a different time and I don't know if I could necessarily still carry it on because I didn't feel like comfortable with it. Besides which, it's really annoying if you like feel the front of your lip. It was kind of irritating. But all in all, I in the end did take it out because I just didn't feel comfortable with it and because it was everything I wanted back then. And I still have fond memories of it, and I would support it for whoever else wants a lip piercing.